So what information do we process automatically? Implicit memories include procedural memory for automatic skills and classically conditioned associations among stimuli. Information is automatically processed about space, time, and frequency. An example of this is if you are writing. You do not have to consciously tell yourself how to make the letters. You already have the procedural memory that will allow you to write something on a piece of paper with very little mental effort. Automatic processing happens effortlessly. With experience and practice, learned skills such as reading and driving become automatic. Many skills are developed this way. How does our sensory memory work? Sensory memory feeds our active working memory, recording momentary images of scenes or echoes of sounds. Two types of sensory memory are iconic memory and echoic memory. In this Sperling activity, this is an example, is in sensory memory, our first stage is forming explicit memories. In iconic memory, the picture image memory of visual stimuli lasting no more than a few tenths of a second. The echoic memory, sound memory of auditory stimuli, can be recalled within 3 or 4 seconds. So when George Sperling flashed this group of letters similar to this for 1/20th of a second, people could recall only about half the letters. But when signaled to recall any one row immediately after the letters had disappeared, they could do so with near perfect accuracy, which means that there are two different types of memory involved. What is our short-term memory capacity? It is thought that we can only hold 7 plus or minus 2 chunks of information. This activated memory that holds a few items, such as the 7 digits of a phone number while dialing, but the information is stored or forgotten. Newer understandings of our short-term memory that stresses conscious active processing of incoming auditory and visual spatial information and of information retrieved from long-term memory is working. George Miller proposed the magical number 7. People can store about 7 bits of information, give or take 2. Baddeley and colleagues have confirmed that without distraction we can recall about 7 digits or about 6 letters or 5 words. Capacity varies by age and distractions at time of memory tasks. Newer understanding of short-term memory that stresses conscious, active processing of incoming auditory and visual spatial information and of information retrieved from long-term memory is called short-term memory capacity. This capacity varies by age and distractions at time of memory task. What are some effortful processing strategies that can help us remember new information? Chunking is organizing items into familiar manageable units. This often occurs automatically. Mnemonics are memory aids, especially techniques that use vivid imagery or organizational devices. The peg word system harnesses our superior visual imagery skill. An example of a mnemonic device might be to use the word face, F-A-C-E, which would help you to remember notes on a musical staff. Hierarchies are organization of items into a few broad categories that are divided and subdivided into narrower concepts and facts. The spacing effect, which encoding is more effective when it is spread over time. Distributed practice procedures produce better long-term retention than is achieved through mass study or practice, and mass practice, in contrast, produce speedy short-term learning and feelings of confidence, but those who learn quickly also forget quickly, and that was one of the reasons why I said we want to read our textbook more frequently, shorter duration, and that is an example of the spacing effect and distributed practice. The testing effect indicates that enhanced memory after retrieving, rather than simply rereading information, it's repeated self-testing using the retrieve it and testing effect questions in this text, for example, does more than assess learning, it improves it. Practice may not be perfect, but smart practice and occasional rehearsal with self-testing makes for lasting memories. What are the levels of processing and how do they affect encoding? Verbal information processed at different levels, which affects our long-term retention. Shallow processing encodes on a very basic level, such as the word's letters, or a more intermediate level, the word's sound. Deep processing encodes semantically, based on word meaning. The deeper and more meaningful the processing, the better our retention. Effortful processing and explicit memories, making material personally meaningful. New information is processed easily when it is meaningful or related to our experience. Ebbinghaus estimated that learning material meaningfully requires 1/10 of the effort compared with learning nonsense material. We have especially good recall for information we can relate to ourselves, a tendency referred to as the self-reference effect. The amount of information remembered depends both on the time spent in learning it and on your making it meaningful for deep processing.